When I was 16 years old, I went to Armenian Evangelical Church Camp for a week. Yeah. I was supposed to become a Christian, so I became a feminist. I'm a quarter Armenian, and I look like this, but this hardly stopped my mother from bringing me up in Armenian church, because unlike she, all her sisters, and my grandmother, I was going to marry an Armenian and have Armenian babies. But when you're a half-breed female like my sister and I are, you're suspect. Do you cook Armenian food? What you are speaking, speak Armenian. Metzvor, which was quite specific to me and loosely big ass but small titties. And always, charakchig, or naughty girl. What made me naughty at 16 was a pretty blatant desire that guys objectify me. So one summer, I packed all the ass-cheek-bearing shorts and bikinis that I owned to go spend a week at the sleepaway camp where like half the young married couples at my church had met. I was off to become a legit Armenian girl and to go make out a little in the woods. The first indication that that wasn't going to happen, though, was when they lined up the girls upon arrival and confiscated our hair dryers. Okay, so right now, I need you to think of fellow Armenian Kim Kardashian. You do not take an Armenian woman's hairdryer from her. One girl gasped, another started to cry softly, and when the strip search was over, they lead us back to the cabin where we pray for a week spent turning our lives over to Jesus Christ. And I was like, I am not sure that that was my intention. And is this why the guys are here too? The other girls look at me like I'm the worst, but I'm confused. Yeah, like the pretext of camp is God, but the actual purpose is future mate reconnaissance. No? Not so much, no. So only 3 people were on the same page as me. My best friend Megan, her sister Nicole, and my sister Stephanie. And during the prayer, 14-year-old Stephanie had stage whispered, "Fuck this shit." Next up, it is time for worship, and for the first opportunity to come to Jesus, which felt a little quick, like 4 hours after arriving. But Nicole stands up and is like, I'm going back to the cabin to pray with Megan, Erin, and Stephanie. And yeah, we can see where this is going. We sit there eating Twizzlers, and every time someone comes to check on us, we channel Jenny from Forrest Gump and are like, "Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far, far away." And they finally realize we're not exactly joiners and split us all up among the different groups. Day 2 is a flowchart to damnation with images and descriptions, and things start to get a little weird. The first image is a boy and girl holding hands. The second is something called heavy petting. And I realize this is a roadmap to sexy times, so I am gleeful because this is instructive. I raise my hand to clarify my notes and helpfully volunteer fingering for the list, but before I can get this out there, the chart suddenly skips to a woman standing alone downstage of a crucifix with a caption of eternal death. And Jason, the youth minister, appears to administer the dress code. The women are not to wear spaghetti-strapped tank tops, shorts higher than a few inches above our knees, or 2-piece bathing suits, because you're not to tempt the boys. And I have a lot of questions, not least of all because I literally did not pack anything but the items specifically outlawed. So I raised my hand to be like, I'm not hot enough to tempt anyone, so can I be exempt? And I am thoroughly delighted when one of the Burns brothers is like, no, you're hot enough. And would the guys be asked to cover up as well? Not that you can see their skin through the hair. And going back to the chart, which seemed to skip over a lot, why is the woman in hell alone and not the man? Jason explains women have a certain power over men. Men struggle with temptation, but women don't because you're not as sexual. No, we're just their downfall. With the dangerous sexuality comes the requisite self-loathing. So in our small groups, I listen to one girl be like, God gave me a big nose to show me it's not important to be pretty. Growing up, all I wanted was to look more Armenian. And all these girls want is to look more white. So it's what? Be Armenian, but not too Armo. Attract the boys, but don't send them to hell with your vag. And above all, never be sexual. Of which I'm reminded when Mary, one of the counselors, tells me to change my shorts because they're too short. I put on a shorter pair. But slowly, this asshole behavior starts to acquire meaning because the girls are being told that we don't matter if the boys aren't looking at us. And we're agreeing. At the end of the week, they take us to Hurricane Harbor, a water park. The girls sprint across the park upon arrival to go use the free hair dryers in the locker rooms to go blow out their hair. But it's the middle of August in Southern California, and I'm sweating my balls off, so I just want to strip off as much fabric as possible. Jason announces, anyone wearing a two-piece bathing suit must walk around with a shirt over your suits at all times. Clearly looking at Megan, Nicole, Stephanie, and I alone as he says this. And look, everyone hated us at this point. I was prepared to wear that shirt till I rounded the corner, then ditch it into a bush just to get this turd out of my face. But Megan snarls, "No one move." Then strip. I can't move or strip because this is a high-stakes game with like 50 campers watching. She repeats herself, strip, and then reaches over and pantses me before she pulls off her shirt, flames crawling up the boobs of her string bikini, charak chig, naughty girl, indeed. I'm not here to make men comfortable. I'm never going to behave, and no man is ever going to body shame me. Try though he will with, "You never wear sexy underwear," or "You're soft for someone who used to be a swimmer." Winners. But I can hear that shit now because when I was 16 years old, I didn't break eye contact with my male pastor as I then pulled off my shirt with as much admittedly awkward sexuality as I could muster. That was my moment to join the cadre of other girls blowing out their hair for the boys they did go on to marry. But I went on to study theology, ironically enough, and work for an Armenian NGO in New York City. And when I was at a happy hour mixer one time for this NGO, some guy sneered at me, "A blonde from California, how fucking original." I was able to retort, "A natural blonde Armenian from Southern California is pretty fucking original," because I am. Or, as stated in Armenian, yes, I am, which I swear to God means I am Armenian. Thank you.